Welcome to Insurance Claim Radio, where leading hail loss consumer advocate Phil Coutu and his team of experts teach you how to avoid the pitfalls of hail damage claims and how to use his team of experts to get what you truly deserve under your insurance policy. Now, here's your host of Insurance Claim Radio, Phil Coutu.
Hi, we're live with insuranceclaimsradio.com. I'm your host, Phil Coutu, and we are a show that talks about insurance related to property claims, such as hail damage, hurricane damages, fire, wind. We've got an expert panel today. We've got Ed Levy, the Levy Law Group, and he specializes in property insurance claims. We've got Stevie Solomon, who's an expert rep for a shingle manufacturing company. We got James D'Angelo, a public adjuster and a building general contractor. We have Ryan from Blue Ribbon. So, Blue Ribbon Contracting, he specializes in hail damage as well. And my name is Phil Coutu. Any of these people you want to get a hold of, you can just contact me at 303-997-4247 or text me at 720-296-3492, and we'll get you their information. We left off the last show talking about the door bolt in B-5.1 about overhead and profit. We were at the door meeting yesterday. We decided in between shows here that we are going to ask Dora to come on air. We're going to ask an insurance attorney that's on behalf of the insurance company. And we'll probably get a public adjuster and then a few attorneys that are plaintiff attorneys that represent policyholders against insurance companies. That would make a great discussion. So we're going to put that invite out tomorrow. You can find information at insuranceclaimsradio.com. That website is going live in a few days. And there'll be all the back shows on there. And today we're going to open it up really quick. We're going to get James go first because he's got to take off here shortly. We're going to talk about general contractor overhead and profit and the industry standard that's been pushed on everybody of the 10 and 10 rule. James, do you want to start out?
Yeah, I do. And I want to take a step before the 10 and 10, Phil. I'd really like to speak to just an insured when they have a loss. And really, let's talk about a commercial loss. Let's talk about a large commercial roof, flat roof type scenario. If you have a loss there, it may not show. Let's call it hail damage. Hail damage may not show for a couple of years. It may take a while to manifest itself. So there's some important things that need to be done here at the very beginning. First thing to do is pull out your policy, read it, go to your attorney, have your attorney read it. And just like anything else,
why not come to one of the public adjusters on the show?
Or
here?
Come to a public adjuster. That's fine too.
Often the public adjuster will, because he wants to get the work and he's extremely experienced in insurance, will give you some free advice.
Oh, absolutely. But a lot of people
gets the claim.
A lot of people also too feel more comfortable with their attorney. But what I was going to say was not all attorneys are equal, and you may pay for your attorney's education in this field. Ed Levy here is an expert in this field. But good public adjuster with a good reputation out there can help you also. But that's the first place to start. Find out what your exclusions are. Find out what's covered. Find out what you're entitled to. Find out what you actually paid for. Then the second thing here that I think is very important, once you know that, you don't want to get into the woods, I think, on individual, what they're paying for, what they're not paying for. It's the value. Value is value. How do they determine replacement cost value? How do they determine actual cash value? These are the important points to an insured. And what I suggest is, free of charge, you can call anybody in this panel, and we can help you through it. The best number to contact would be Phil Coutu's.
It's 303-997-4247, or you can text me at 720-296-3492.
In fact, Phil and I were recently on a commercial claim downtown, city of Denver, and I'll wrap it up. We don't have much time, but it came to a 2-year statute of limitations noted in the policy. The week before, and I looked at these roofs probably every 6 months, the week before the statute was to run out, finally, the damages manifest themselves to where we were able to file the claim. If we would have waited one more week, that insured would have lost out. So once again, I was on that roof every 6 months checking it, waiting for the weather to do its damage and waiting for the damages themselves to manifest themselves.
Okay, we're going to take a break there. You're live with insuranceclaimsradio.com, 303-997-4247.
You're listening to Insurance Claim Radio. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back after these important messages.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration, 303-997-4247, 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftop-restoration.com.
Welcome back to Insurance Claim Radio. Now, here's Phil Coutu and his team.
Hi, you're live with insuranceclaimsradio.com. We're radio show help to design people through their property insurance claims. We got an expert panel here right now. Continuing on with Stevie Solomon, former Tamco shingle rep, Ed Levy Law Group of Colorado, and Ryan from Blue Ribbon Contracting and Exteriors. Ryan's an expert at general contracting and hail claims. I'm your host, Phil Coutu, with Rooftop Roofing, also a public adjuster, and also the host of Insurance Claims Radio. We were talking about general contractor overhead and profit, and there's many articles written out there, and it talks about 10 and 10%. Ryan, do you want to pick it up and talk about that?
Yeah, sure, we can talk about that. I can talk about that. I think from the side of on the 10 and 10 as a general contractor and going out and do the business as an insured, what you want to be aware of is that 10 and 10 doesn't really pay for our overhead and profit. My overhead is somewhere around 28%. So what does that typically mean to an insured, right? Why are you listening? Why are you trying to do that? As a general contractor, what we're trying to get to is making sure that we make a profit and we can do the project correctly. And at a 10 and 10, we're unable to do the project correctly, which means that they skip corners. They try to move things around. If you don't understand or can't maneuver through the insurance world or what the insurance is trying to pay or be able to negotiate with them, you're unable to get the job done correctly. And that's where I think insureds get themselves into trouble. And I'm going to throw this back at Ed. So Ed, as somebody that was a CPA, can you go back and can you validate your overhead and go through and then send that into the insurance? And from an insured's perspective, so they're listening to this, wanting to talk to somebody. I just want to know from a legal side, is that can the insurance company get in trouble for that, for not being able to pay the right amount so these people can get the job done right? What happens to the insured if they hired the wrong contractor that doesn't know how to maneuver with the right contractor or the contractor cuts corners?
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, with most legal questions, sometimes it depends. It depends on the circumstances. It depends on the case. It depends on the policy, because the fundamental contract that's involved is the policy. But let's just talk in general terms about what the concept of overhead and profit is designed to do. If the insurer is going to put the policyholder, the homeowner or the business owner back into the place they were before the loss, into pre-loss condition, it's going to take some things. It's going to take some materials. Generally, let's say roofing materials, windows, doors, frames, things of that nature. And then, of course, somebody needs to basically install that or replace the roof and fix the property back to that pre-loss condition. When you just take the materials, that's the material cost, however that's determined. Overhead is designed to help and basically be cost recovery for that general contractor or that contractor. You know, running the business, paying the employees, paying the insurance for the employees, doing everything that it takes, complying with OSHA, all of the costs that help get the materials into place and restore the roof. And then profit is designed to be a fair profit, the idea being we're doing this with a profit goal in mind, and what's a fair profit? 5%, 10%, wherever we are in that situation is a reasonable rate of return for that contractor being in that line of business or that work. So when you look at it as overhead and profit, you have to realize it's cost and then a fair and reasonable profit. Now, estimating software is just that. We can't tell future events. If things happen along the way and the policy provides for it, once the insurer cuts the check, it could be done. That could be it. Here's your check. We're all settled on this claim. Or it could be we're going to come back and take a look at it and look at the actual overhead that was involved in that, and here's why it was different. Well, we found lead-based paint, and we had to abate that, and so that required this. And it got way more complex because we had to deal with this situation, or these windows were different, or this happened. So there are times when you can go back to the insurer and say, hey, we hit the unexpected. Here's what we need. This is what we need to recover.
Gotcha. I mean, what I'd like to talk about just for a minute is an actual example of what typically happens and the calls that we get from insured that's been going through it. We got a call from insured last year. We had hail that came through Colorado multiple times. The customer had been through 4 roofers. We started going through code, and this happened in Erie, Colorado. And the insurance company wanted per slope. They were willing to buy 1 plus the ridge, and they said, hey, you know what? You can go ahead and leave the 3 tab on the back, but we're going to let you patch with architectural because that's what the code states, right? So we ended up talking to the homeowner. We were the 4th roofer. They weren't really excited to talk to us, right? Because they're like, hey, nobody's been able to get this done. We talked to the DA or the desk adjuster for the insured, and the desk adjuster didn't want to move on the portion. And at that point, we had to invoke, go into what we would call appraisal, right? And bringing an appraiser in, which is a disinterested third party, to go back. It takes it out of the insurance hands and becomes a qualifier based on experience on both sides, right? And before we did that, we talked to a public adjuster, such as Phil, and said, what is our opportunity on this? And is this a good one to take? Before we talked to the homeowner. We explained to him, hey, look, we're going to go to appraisal, and this is what we've been told we think is going to happen. Here's how much it's going to cost to go, and let's move forward. And we won the award. And once we got the award, what happened is we sat down with the homeowner, and we said, look, we're going to go back and we're going to file suit for delay because it took them over 9 months to come to what we would call a reasonable solution, or so that we could get their roof fixed. I mean, they sat there for all over winter with their ridge line open. So if you're a homeowner, you've had 3 people look at your roof and they're not an expert in storm damage, you need to call somebody on this panel, because 3 people looking at your roof and then saying, hey, your desk adjuster is hard to deal with, doesn't mean that your roof, your flat roof, your commercial roof won't get bought. It just means you need an expert that can go through, understands the process. And I think that's something that Phil, Ed, myself, and James have. So that's how we were able to win one. And I'm sure, Phil, you have some data on a couple other ones as well.
Yeah, so we're just talking about the overhead and profit, having an open conversation. The reason that a consumer, you, the public out there, would want to hire a general contractor is, let's say you had a hailstorm come through. You had gutter damage, roof damage. You probably don't know, but you have furnace vent and HVAC damage, possibly air conditioning or swamp cooler damage, potential fence, maybe 1 or 2 elevations of your house, windows, window trim, paint trim, siding. These are all damages. Your mailbox, a lot of these things are missed. A general contractor is going to encompass and do all the claims. So you can, the public doesn't know this, but when you just hire a roofer direct, he's got his overhead and profit built in it. A general contractor has additional overhead and profit because he's kind of overseeing everybody. So the consumer, makes sense sometimes. You don't want to cost the insurance industry money if you got a single trade. If you have multiple trades or are busy or don't have the time, you can hire what's called a general contractor. And the general contractor will get all the subs together and he'll manage the whole project to make it a lot more hassle-free. Ryan beside me, he's an expert at that. I'm a general contractor. James, who was on the other show, he's a general contractor. And we all specialize in that. And that's the reason when you would want to hire a general contractor. If you just got a single trade like a roof or gutters, it's not really necessary. You can hire a general contractor. It's going to cost the insurance company more money, so there's a disadvantage there to them. And you, if it's a single trade, it's definitely fine to hire direct. And so we just want the consumer to know that that's your option with hiring some of the experts at this table. And that they will pay the extra, the general contractor overhead and profit. If you're much older and you don't want the hassle dealing with it, that's another reason to hire a general contractor. So you can be more headache free. You just don't want to handle it, or you don't know what you're looking for. By hiring a general contractor too, because he's got more skin in the game, he's going to be looking for all the damage related to hail or wind or in a hurricane, not just focusing on the roof. So that's one of the disadvantages of hiring a single trade. They're there looking for what they do. They're not really got their magnifying glass on. They're not being the Inspector Gadget and trying to help you with your insurance claim. And so those are the real important reasons. We were also talking about overhead and profit. And it's interesting, James D'Angelo, he's a prominent public adjuster in town and a general contractor. And he was talking about in his project management course, they have it in the course that a general contractor on a mid to smaller scale, and we're talking like below 20, 30 million, needs 33.3%. And the industry on the softwares are using 10 and 10. And I want to talk about that because that is a fallacy. The 10 and 10 is derived from big contractors building bridges, building malls, building big buildings where everything's straight subbed out and they're a paper contractor and they're running on much tighter margins because it's a 30 million or 80 million or $20 million project. And somehow that's been adapted by the insurance industry. It's really not fair because they're trying to make that for a small home improvement contractor. And that's where a small home improvement contractor has to have his own subs. So he's making his 40, 50% hard costs. And so let me speak to this in reality so the public understands. You really want a good contractor that's going to stay in business. Statistics show that 75% of general contractors go to business in 5 years, similar to restaurants. Statistics show from government accountability offices and other research that's been done, 75 to 92% of roofers go to business in 5 years. The softwares out there are pegging it in the middle. They're taking a sample or using a cluster method pricing and pegging it in the middle. And we're going to be right back. You're live with insuranceradio.com. I'm your host, Phil Coutu. We'll see you after the break.
You're listening to Insurance Claim Radio. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back after these important messages.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration. 303-997-4247. 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftop-restoration.com.
Welcome back to Insurance Claim Radio. Now, here's Phil Coutu and his team.
Hi, you're live with insuranceclaimsradio.com. I'm your host, Phil Coutu. I'm a public adjuster, a contractor, general contractor, roofer, and appraiser insurance. I've been doing this a long time, and we're a show that's going to continue talking about insurance and general contractor overhead and profit and policyholders' rights when they need a general contractor. And Ed, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I want to jump in, going back to what James had said in an earlier program. It's about value. You have a policy, which is really a contract with the insurance company, and you pay your premiums like clockwork, otherwise you don't have that policy anymore. And when you have a loss, you're supposed to be taken care of. That's what the insurance company does for you. So it is value. You want to be restored to pre-loss condition. Would you go out and hire just a low-cost bidder without any other consideration on a job? You're the person that's going to be living in that house. It's going to be your business or commercial property, your roof, your siding, your windows. How do you want that adjusted? You want to be back to pre-loss condition, as if nothing had happened. That's why you pay insurance. You want the work done right, and you'd like it done fairly quickly. And these are things that really the insurance company is supposed to do for you without any help. It's when you don't get that help that you need this panel of experts. You need the public adjuster. You need the general contractor to convince the insurance company that they need to pay what it really takes to restore the property to the pre-loss condition.
Yeah, it's a really good point. Is people don't understand. It's like, oh, you're thinking from a personal perspective. Do you want to hire the cheapest contractor? Now, that's okay for the insurance. It saves them premiums, but you want to do your due diligence because there's a reason a lot of contractors are charging more money. They're not just gouging you. This isn't like going to Sears and then to Walmart saying, well, this fridge is $1,100 here, and then it's $1,175 here, and it's the identical fridge. That's true. You're getting a savings. When it comes to contracting, you're really looking for longevity, experience, people that knowledge, somebody you feel really comfortable with. You always want to get everything in writing, but the more comfortable you are with a person, it also, there's legitimate people and there's other people. Well, it's not in writing. Some things are said loosely, but you should still always try to get it in writing so both parties understand. And, you're going to pay more money for that experience. It's just a given thing. You're not going to, and let me give you a quick example. And I know Ryan wants to jump in here with Blue Ribbon contracting, but when I was 20 years old and I was out of a garage, and I probably had really cheap insurance if it even existed, and I made my payment. And I had $3,000 in the bank. When you're that age, you're driving an old pickup truck and, you're just trying to survive. Your prices are a lot less. As you mature in the contracting business, your prices have to go up because you're carrying real workers' comp. You're carrying real liability insurance, not just a fake certificate you made up on your computer. Now, I can speak from experience because I've seen all this happen. I've been doing this now about 33, I think it's going to be 34 years this summer. And I remember being an entrepreneur and being those young guys, and you had to compete against the big guys, and it's really hard. You'd win the claims on price. But let's make no mistake. If you have a major roof leak or get hit by a thunderstorm, you're probably never going to see that contractor again when he's small. When you go with somebody local and reputable that lives and breathes it, you've got an element of peace of mind. It's a big deal. And that's everyone that sits on this panel here. I want everyone to know everybody on this panel has been pre-checked. We've known them in the industry for a long time. We're all friendly competitors, but we want a radio show that's really talking about issues to the policyholder. And Ryan wants to jump in.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in for the policyholder and kind of explain to them that there's really three type of contractors out there, right? You have the retail contractors that go after the retail work. You have what they call program contractors, and those are contractors that are vetted by the insurance company, that the insurance company says, hey, here's a contractor that's on our program that they bring in typically to do comparatives against a contractor that you hired to make sure that they're within the correct pricing. And then you have the general contractors that come in, and some of those people play around on the program portion. And so to the policyholder, I want you to be aware that those are really the three you're going to run into. I don't think any of them are really that bad. I think even when the insurance company says bring out a program-based contractor, that doesn't mean that person's not going to work for you. In fact, we did a comparative yesterday for a large insurance company where the contractor followed me around, and I said, look, you should be happy I'm here. And he goes, well, why is that? And I said, because I'm going to bid it as if I was doing the job, and I don't work off of the insurance program. We're going to take the measurements. We're going to validate that the insurance company sent out their person, that they measured it correctly, and that you can get the job done for at that cost. And when we're done, we're going to go out and look at what the actual costs of materials are and the labor that we would pay in this market. Because on this panel, as we're talking, just so the homeowner or the business owner understands, the prices in Denver and Florida and everywhere else, when there's a storm, that pricing goes up. And so those programs don't necessarily account for what happens out there. So you want, when you're talking to your contractor, I think there's a couple of questions. One is, how long have you been in business, right? How long have you been doing insurance claims for? Right? And what makes you an expert in the field? Ask those three questions. And can you give me some referrals? I wouldn't just manage yourself on online reviews, because people can buy online reviews. And then you want to ask your PA who he trusts. or you want to ask a lawyer, who do you trust to do the work? Because those guys are defending and managing people that are doing the work. I mean, and Phil, jump in whenever you want, but those are the three type of people that I see out in the industry that typically a policyholder is dealing with.
Yeah, and it's a really big deal. I always I hire, our company. We're a large contracting company with a smaller expertise on troubled claims. And the people that we surround ourselves for are so vetted, from attorneys to anybody else that works for us in scopes. This business takes a tremendous amount of experience and is very, very complex. So we're looking for highly experienced people that live and breathe this. We're not looking for people that do this on the weekends or have done it for 5 or 10 years. Everybody on this panel has been vetted. They're doing it like 15, 20 years. I've been doing it 34. There's a tremendous amount of experience. We got people on this panel. I used to be an adjuster for the insurance industry. So vetting these people, we get horror stories literally every other day to several a week. And, it's a big deal. People are taking 30, 40, 50% downstroke checks. And sometimes contractors do need that check to start the job. But you better be giving it to a good contractor that's local, that's been around with the same phone number, the same incorporation, for a long time. Otherwise, you might not see that money, and you don't have much recourse. Sure, you can go to the Consumer Bureau, and you can jump up and down, file complaints, but those contractors take off.
Yeah, prevention is always better than cure, especially as an industry. I mean, last week I talked to one of my friends. They decided to go with a contractor, and now out almost $60,000 out of pocket, and haven't had any work completed at all. And so when you call somebody like Phil and, you get to look at his huge repertoire of all the work that he's completed, of all the clients that are in nationwide that can vouch for him, now that says something for somebody in this industry. So when you call in, make sure that, you are in a good hands with us right here. So,
all right. It's the end of the show. insuranceclaimsradio.com. We'll see you on the next show.
Thank you for listening to Insurance Claim Radio. For more information on how to maximize your hail damage insurance claim or to contact Phil and his team, call 303-997-4247. And be sure to tune in next week for more Insurance Claim Radio.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration. 303-997-4247. 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftоprestoration.com.